Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Timothy, and on the channel we speak everything personal finance. In today's video, we're going to be reacting to this lady, this nurse that has $20,000 in credit card debt. I don't even know how you can possibly get $20,000 in credit card debt unless it was some crazy medical bill. I have seen videos on how nurses can spend money because they're making a lot of money. Nurses make a ton of money, especially when they do overtime. And if you're not smart with this money, and especially if you're just coming out of college, you may spend a lot of money and you may just go buy that new car, you may go buy that new house, and you just get overwhelmed with the amount of things that you have. And before you know it, you have $20,000 in credit card debt or $20,000 in debt in general. So let's see what this lady's talking about. She has $20,000 in debt.
I have been financially not doing great. I am a nurse. Even though I am a nurse and I make good money, I don't have money, which is the sad part because of the choices that I've made still currently and the choices that I've made like previously, like from a couple of years.
The good thing is that she's acknowledging that her choices she's made in her past were not good, but she's also acknowledging the choices that she's making now are not good, but she still makes those choices. So once you acknowledge the choices that you made, and once you acknowledge the choices that you're making are not good, then you need to stop doing the things that are bad. If you're in nursing and you're making, 70, 100,000 plus dollars, there's no way that you should be struggling. You're just living beyond your means. I don't care if you live in an expensive city, you can always have a roommate, but a lot of times people don't want to live like that. A lot of times people don't want to have a roommate. They want to have their own situation, and it becomes very expensive when you're out here on your own. That's why a house hack.
I am in credit card debt, and it's this unhealthy cycle that I have been putting myself into, and this just relationship with money has just never been something that I was talked about. Lifestyle creep is definitely a thing, and especially when you are trying to make a brand for yourself, when you're aspiring to do something that you want to do, and content creation has been something that I've always wanted to do. Being a YouTuber has always been something I wanted.
So she says lifestyle creep was definitely a thing, and especially when she wants to do content creation. So I hope she's not pumping money into content creation, because content creation is one of the cheapest side hustles that you can get into. All you need is a camera. You can use your phone. All you need is a computer. A lot of you have a computer so you can edit videos. Lifestyle creep is tough. Like, I've experienced it, and lifestyle creep can be good because when you're making money, you should definitely spend more money and spend it in places that matter to you. But this is why it's super important to increase your investments as your income increases. So if your income increases 3%, then you should be increasing your investments by 3%.
I've always just wanted to be on camera. I've always just wanted to make a name for myself, whether it be like through content creation, being a YouTuber, being an entrepreneur, like whatever it may be. I always felt like I was meant to do something other than nursing. And so I think for years I have been continuously like, going with the trends and like, buying whatever everyone else buys so that like I can post about it and like, be seen. But then
don't follow the crowds. Be your own person, especially when it comes to content creation. If you can't afford the lifestyle that you see other people living, like, you don't know, they might have put themselves in $20,000 in credit card debt to live that lifestyle. You don't have to spend money on all these things. It's kind of hard to believe that she spent $20,000 worth of money on just like stuff from social media. And then she talks, it's so, like, I have a lot to say about this because it's kind of contradicting when she says, oh, I don't want to always be in nursing and I didn't really imagine myself always being here. But when you're putting yourself in $20,000 in credit card debt, and that's the main income that's coming in, you're kind of extending the time that you're going to have to be working that 9 to 5. So if you want to get out of your 9 to 5, you have to keep your expenses low and start building up that side income. Start building up that side business so you can eventually leave that 9 to 5 income. But when your expenses are super high because you have this good 9 to 5, and then you have to work super, super hard for content creation to actually replace that, you're going to end up being at that 9 to 5 even longer. And that's why I try to keep my expenses really, really low. as low as possible, of course, but still enjoy life. But I try to keep them low because I don't want to be working 9 to 5 all the time, and I don't want to be relying on my income to actually live my life.
I get caught up with imposter syndrome of not being enough. For in order for me to become someone, I guess I was influenced by everyone else around me. So if I bought the next best thing, or if I like looked a certain way by buying these clothes, then I was gonna make an image, a brand for myself. And that turned into like so many like dumb purchases like along the way that I'm like literally paying for now. And don't get me wrong, I have been trying to get myself together when it comes to my finances, because obviously like I have money to pay my bills. I have money to like pay down the minimums on my credit cards. But a lot of the times I don't take into account like, money like for myself and money to, just enjoy life. And most of the time like I'm struggling to even do that. So I think I've reached my breaking point. Enough is enough. Like living paycheck to paycheck, living with like the credit card debt and like the afterpays and everything, like I'm done. Like I'm so done. I want to be financially free. Like
You can literally get that on a nursing income. Like, I swear I've seen some income, some nurses, like, I've heard about how much nurses make, and $100,000 plus. If you're living in a smart situation and you start investing that money while you're young, especially when you just started, you can be financially free in probably 15 years, 10 years if you really go hard and do that travel nursing. I mean, it's so crazy how much money you can make from nursing. And it seems like she's just been kind of wasting time with it and not taking advantage of all the opportunities that nurses have when it comes to finances. It seems like she's going to have to really cut back and focus on paying off her debt. She's going to have to sacrifice her comfort. She's going to have to sacrifice the things that she wants to get for herself and put more than the minimums towards her debt, because if she keeps putting these minimums towards her debt, she's going to be in debt for the rest of her life.
you know if I'm gonna be able to eat, I just don't want to be in this cycle anymore, because it's like I want to travel, I want to buy a house, I want to get married, like all of these things. Like it's just like it's not possible until I take this step of paying off my debt, and not just paying off my debt, but like being financially literate and just understanding you can't always have your wants. You have to prioritize like your needs. And sometimes like I rationalize like my needs, my wants, to make them seem like their needs. And I just need to get out of this toxic like mindset. Like it sucks. And I'm not making this an excuse, but I guess like impulsivity and like shopping addiction is part of ADHD. And sometimes I hate it. Like sometimes I like get mad at myself for having this ADHD.
I want to make sure. Okay,
Is the
so
reason why I'm in this situation. But at the same time, it's like I need to remember, what can I do now to just like get myself out of this hole. So the reason I'm crying on the internet is to show people that like seriously, like do not like, I understand that I'm trying to be an influencer, I'm trying to be a content creator, and that goes with like promoting products, but like literally live within your means and only buy like if you have the money for it. Stop klarning, stop affirming, stop afterpaying, like stop just swiping the credit card, because like yeah, it may be fun like in the moment, but literally you will regret it if that stuff like just racks up, and it's like years down the line and you're still paying for that purse that you bought like 4 years ago.
guys, take this advice. Stop just buying random stuff. Stop buying stuff that you can't afford. Stop with the afterpays. Pay for things in full, because when you're using credit to buy these things and you're not paying them off, you're ultimately paying more than what you bought it for. So buy things in cash and buy things that truly matter to you. You need to lower your expenses. You need to lower your big three. Now, my big three is a big three: housing, transportation, and food. You need to have those things under control. Now, if you are in a used car that has no note, maybe a 2002 Toyota Camry, like what I have, you're chilling. If you're living with the roommate, you're paying $800 to $1,000 a month for rent, you're chilling. And then you control your spending. You can have this content creation lifestyle and actually put money towards buying these things because you're going to have extra money left over. But when you're already living an inflated lifestyle, it's hard to have that extra money so you can spend on content creation and just doing what you want to do.
Money on stuff that we bought like a couple years ago. Life is too short for like years down the line and you're still paying for that purse that you bought like 4 years ago. Life is too freaking short for us to be paying money on stuff that we bought like a couple years ago. Life is too short for us to be paying for materialistic things. Instead, we should be paying for experiences, for like adventures and whatever it may be, like for new life like chapters. And I don't know. Buying the next best thing is not worth your mental health. Buying the next best thing is not worth the emotional and financial burden that you're going to experience if you can't pay it off right away. If you're watching this and you are also in the same boat, like, you are not alone. This stuff is hard to navigate, and not a lot of people like talk about the realness about being in credit card debt or like even student loans. Like, I don't even want to think about like the student loans that I have and like my car loan. Like, that's another thing in itself. But if you're watching this all the way through, the one thing that I can say is that if you're going into 2025 with debt, specifically credit card debt, please make a plan to like get out of it, because I know I am.
So she has student loans and then she has car loan. The average car loan is about $500 to $700. And then we're talking the average student loans 40,000. I mean, I've seen people's student loans 80,000, 90,000. I don't know how much she has. She might have over or maybe 100,000, or say her student loans is 40,000, her car loans 25 or 20,000. That's 60, 80. She might have $100,000 in debt, and she looks very young. This is a warning, a look what could happen. So whoever's watching this, be aware of how much debt you have and be aware of how much these minimums will be when they start stacking up. Now, me personally, I have about $24,000 in student loans. And then, we have the loans on the house, of course. That's the only debt I have. So I'm paying those student loans down slowly and slowly, but I adjusted my lifestyle so I can actually put more money toward my student loans. I'm not stacking loans on top of loans because it gets really, really difficult. I'm being smart and strategic when it comes to paying off loans. I only have one loan at a time. I can't have $20,000 in credit card debt and then $24,000 in student loans and $20,000 in a car payment. I just can't do it. So I can't have a car payment right now. My loan payments are going to student loans. And then down the line, I'm going to buy a car in cash. I'm not going to buy a depreciating asset with a loan. Just pay attention to the amount of money that you're spending in life, because these credit card debts can really put you behind in life. Like, it really extends the amount of times you're going to have to work this 9 to 5 that you probably don't enjoy. These credit card interest rates are 20, 30, 40%. And these Karnas, or whatever it's called, 50, 60. I saw something like 100% on, some payday loan. It's crazy. So stay out of this. Like, realize what you have right now. Realize, like, look at your accounts and see that, your credit card balance this month was more than what you actually make. So you need to slow down. You need to look at what you're doing. I always look at my statements and I make sure that my credit card balance doesn't reach more than what I bring in monthly, because when it does that, that's when we're having a problem. That's when we're living paycheck to paycheck. Because when you have all these different credit cards, you might not realize how big these payments are. You might not realize how much money is really occurring because you have it split between multiple credit cards. So just be careful and let this woman be an example of what not to do. She finally realized that being in credit card debt is not it. So Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below what you thought about this video and some things that you're doing to improve your financial situation. So I'll see you guys in the next video.